questions for the second half as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Well, actually, we've started thinking about the renovation roadmap some 7 years ago, because at that time we got some very ambitious targets for our buildings, some national targets. And we saw that if you really take them seriously, every renovation opportunity you must exploit with maximum quality. And the reality is, as Martin already pointed out, most renovations happen step by step. Many of these renovations lead into, are maybe suboptimal or lead into some lock-ins. If you look at this building here, it has a new roof, but there is no roof overhang for a later insulation. So you have to pay extra to achieve this long-term target. So thinking about the future in the building, and with building roadmap, we mean the individual roadmap for one building, for one building owner, and not the national renovation roadmap. Another thing we saw from our evaluation of energy audit schemes, of energy consultancy, is that very often these audits are very theoretic. So they do not really take into consideration the renovation context. For instance, when do the children move out? When is money available for measures, etc. And so it's not just the physical side of the building, but also the people living inside these houses and homes that really matters for a good renovation strategy. And maybe one fourth aspect was that in Germany, we do have very good advice infrastructure. We have a number of programs, we have funding for that available, but over the past years, we saw that the activity rate is actually going down. So from some 45,000 consultancies for individual homes, more detailed ones, it went down to less than 10,000 per year. So we saw we need some new approach for energy consultancy for individual buildings. And this is just some more examples of what Martin already showed, and maybe just to mention this lock-in effect that happens when you do step-by-step renovations. So what you could do is simply prepare for a roof overhang, and then you can simply fit the future insulation underneath, and you actually save cost and you more easily achieve deep renovations. And there are many, many examples. We collected some 200 examples of similar situations where actually planning ahead pays off and leads to better results. So what we thought is we do need some kind of timetable or some kind of a roadmap for the building owner, which shows when you actually have to leave. It shows which are some milestones on the way. They also show the final destination, and maybe if you want to go to the dining car or whatever, what happens on the way. And this was our guiding idea some 7 years ago. And we started implementing that in the state of Baden-Württemberg, in the southwestern part of Germany, which has quite a good toolbox of policy tools for the heating and building market. And what we actually did is we created and we developed the methodology for a rather simple audit tool, I have to say. It was a successor of the so-called Energiesparcheck, which was carried out by architects and engineers and also by skilled craftsmen if they have received a special training to become an energy auditor. And we wanted to implement this idea of long-term thinking into this audit tool. It actually started in July 2015, so we can look back onto 1.5 years of experience now. And in this year, an evaluation will take place. So we will look at 200 of those renovation roadmaps much more in detail, and also learn what has actually happened there. So it is, unlike the logbook, which is more like a repository of information, it really is, a detailed energy audit. It needs a 3 to 4 hour visit, on-site visit to the property, and also needs a calculation software to calculate that. Then within this on-site visit, the building is modeled. The energy auditor comes up with a roadmap, and then in a second visit to the building owner discusses the recommendations derived from that. The state government does give some funding to that, 200 euro for a private home, which is approximately 1/3 of the overall cost of this energy roadmap. But there is also, and this is a bit more complicated, just as a hint, it is also accepted within the renewable heating obligation we have in this state as one eligible measure, and that creates actually quite a good incentive, an additional incentive to carry out such a roadmap. This is for me also maybe the occasion to say that I believe that this renovation roadmap is not just a standalone tool, an energy audit tool, but it needs to be embedded into other kinds of incentives. We already discussed the support schemes, which can be very closely linked to the renovation roadmap, and this is just one other example of linking and embedding the renovation roadmap into the other policy instruments we have available. Just in brief, what we try to do is to create a very short product, 6 pages for the final customer, which consists of this central roadmap page here, starting from the building today. Then the auditor has to define useful packages of renovation measures to the target, which can then be achieved after carrying out these renovation measures. We also defined a set of principles that can be found in a legal document accompanying the renovation roadmap. For instance, that always the energy auditor has to consider the long-term perspective and has to define the renovation measures. We call that as ambitious as possible or best possible. That doesn't mean that always you have to prepare a wall of with a U value of less than 0.2 or something like that. But it means that if it's not possible in that very building, the auditor has to explain why not. So it's a little bit like a reversal of the burden of proof, that the auditor needs to start the consultancy or the audit at the ambitious, at the deep renovation level, and then needs to analyze what is possible in the respective building. There are some other things like the methodology we developed to be very close to the real demand of the building, not to exaggerate any saved costs that might occur. We also included a library of low threshold measures, like for instance tightening the building, the door of the building or something like that. So low cost measures that do have an influence and can be a door opener for future renovation measures. So overall, this 6-page document results and contains also information on co-benefits, on the status of the building, and on some more details that have to be considered, and also next steps of the building owner. Where can he call? What does he have to do to get funding, etc. So to make it really accessible and also to increase the probability of a renovation later on. Essential, we found, we do not just have to convince the building owner of this new tool, we also have to excessively train consultants themselves. We've carried out a number of training sessions, and this long-term thinking, I mean, long-term doesn't mean that you have to know exactly what will happen in the next 20 years, but you have to prepare the building owner for the next steps and to make him aware of these log-ins. And that's basically something many consultants haven't trained so far. So we have seen really the requirement of training. And to make it most easily accessible for the energy auditors at the same time means to make it easy in the software. So if you buy a German energy audit software for private homes today, you will find this renovation roadmap implemented in most of the software tools, including libraries of pictures and of sentences. So you, as an auditor, the extra effort for preparing this renovation roadmap compared to just a very normal, typical kind of energy audit is not so much, because a lot is prepared, including the layout, is prepared automatically. So we have done that for residential buildings. There are also there is also the possibility to do that for non-residential buildings, but there is no software approach to that. And also to save cost for preparing the renovation roadmap, it is allowed to carry out roadmaps for similar buildings. For instance, if you have a series of buildings from the same age and the same use, you can prepare one roadmap and apply it to the different buildings, as long as the building owners come together and discuss what they want to do. Finally, just a look into the next steps, because what we have already done is to move from the state level to a federal level. We are together with the German Energy Agency and the Passive House. My institute is preparing a roadmap approach on a federal level, which has basically the same approach but is more detailed, because here we can use some of the material of the federal programs that are already running. The layout is somewhat different, and the end user will get more material and more information. So it's basically a more detailed version of the state kind of roadmap. And one central idea here is as well that the auditor, together with the energy owner, develops this strategy. Also gets this roadmap page as an empty page, first of all, for the first interview, so that they can develop ideas together, and also use it as an educational, as a creative process of preparing this roadmap. So this is the result, and as a result of the energy audit, the end user will get a roadmap page in a high quality print with additional documentation, and also an implementation guide, which is partially prepared automatically. So for the auditor, it is about 1.5 days of work per house. And we also prepare checklists and handbooks for the auditors. All that is actually already finalized. We are right now in the process of implementing also the federal energy roadmap, renovation roadmap into the audit softwares. We will have a test phase this spring, and hopefully, although I cannot promise that because it's of course a political date, we will launch it this year, maybe in summer, so that this program will be available. We are discussing right now additional incentives, also a link maybe to the KfW support scheme, but this is all very provisionary, so we cannot really say what will happen here, but we will try to make it a successful tool, and also to increase the audit numbers altogether. That's it so far, and I'm happy to answer questions later after Peter's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martin. I will switch over to Peter